What's up, y'all? It's your girl LAYB, and I'm back with part 2 of how I had a one night stand. He turned into my man, and then he broke up with me because I cheated on him on Fat Girl TV. Sorry that this video is a little late. It was just a little delayed because your girl be booked and busy. I can't talk today. I know a lot of people have been hitting me up on my social media. A lot of people have been wondering, like, okay, where is this part 2? We want to know the whole full story. People wanted to know, and I read a specific comment was like, basically, there's no excuse to cheating. You basically, you know, you were wrong for cheating on him. You shouldn't have did that. You so possibly that he could have done that would validate you cheating. I'm like, I gotta get this part 2 out for you guys. If you guys have not watched part 1 on how I had a one night stand and he turned into my man, y'all need to go watch that right now. Click off this video, go watch that first so this video can make sense. Okay, I'm gonna jump right into this video. If you guys are new, I want you guys to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you get post notifications whenever I post. If you are back, welcome back, you guys. Do not forget to like this video. Do not forget to comment, give your girl some feedback, or if you have any questions or anything like that, please do not be scared to hit me up on any of my social media. We are on a road to 2,000 subscribers, you guys. Let's keep going, keep riding with me, and yeah, let's get right into the story time. You watched part 1. I branched off at the part that first argument to turn into like a toxic situationship. So, and that is where I'm going to go into part 2. Part where I said we ended up having our first heated argument. Now, before I get into the first night where we had our first heated argument, I want to give you guys kind of like a, so I'm gonna be kind of like jumping from this to that, but just keep up. So the night of our first heated argument, prior, now this is before the night of our heated argument, we were still like, you know, in our, what do you want to call it, our honeymoon phase. Okay, so I'm thinking like, okay, he's the perfect man, nothing's wrong with him, whatever. So the first night that I started to basically see alarming red flags was one night, me and him, we were laid up, we were laying in the bed, and this random dude on my messenger sent me a picture. Oh, he sees that guy sent me a picture. So he was like, don't act like you ain't see that. You know, what did he just send you? And I'm like, well, I don't know. You know, I didn't open it. So he was like, open the picture. And I'm like, I don't want to open it. I don't know what it is. So I'm like, you know, you're worried about it. How about you open the picture? So I ended up letting him open the picture that the guy sent. I know, y'all, literally worst decision of my life. Letting him open up the picture, and it was a picture of the dude. Guys, did not know that it was a picture of another man. I would have never had him open it, but he was pressed, so I'm like, open it. So after he opened it, he looked at me, but like, y'all know, like when a person give you that look, like, but you see the demon in their eyes, like they are like pissed off. And so he looked at me like that, and he was like, he just started going off. He started yelling, he started throwing stuff, and he was just like, you got niggas sending pics to your phone, like, and you're probably him, and this and the other. So I'm telling him, like, wholeheartedly, chocolate, mind y'all, chocolate, I did not know that was the picture of what he sent me, or I would have never had you open it if I would have known that was that. Y'all, he started to go like crazy, and like at this point I'm like, what's going on? Like, where is this nice guy that I met that, you know what I'm saying, I didn't know nothing about this temper, okay? So that was a red flag. He ends up coming back in the room. He ends up laying down, and he like covered his face. He started like doing like this heavy breathing and like wheezing. So I'm like, I see his face, and his face is like full of tears. He's crying. I'm like, what the like, he's crying over a picture. In that moment, I just hugged him, and I'm like, you know, I don't know like why you're so mad. I wouldn't cheat on you. I did not know that he sent me that or whatever. So He was basically like, I'm just having a panic attack. I just need some time alone because I feel like I want to hurt somebody. I'm like, shit, who, me? You want to hurt me? I had to get ASAP. I'm like, at this point, like, it's my man. And like, at this point, shit, a bitch is scared, okay? He just started crying and he was like, you know, I've been through a lot of things in my life and I just don't want you to hurt me. I just need somebody to love me. And I'm like, okay. So he starts to open up about his childhood and the things that he went through. Mind y'all, another red flag on my end is I didn't ask him about his childhood or how he grew up or anything like that. So basically, like I told y'all, it was basically like I was dating a stranger because it was important information about him that though if I would have asked, I probably wouldn't have gotten myself in a situation that I got myself into. So he started to open up about his childhood and his childhood trauma. Now, I'm not going to go into detail of the things that he endured in his childhood or the things that that he went through. I feel like it's a very sensitive topic, not only to him, but to a lot of people out there. And that's just something on his end, and you know, for privacy reasons that I'm just not going to share. But he opened up to me about some traumatic things that he went through in his childhood, and basically how he is the way that he is. Another thing that he opened up to me about was he said he had went through a situation, which he didn't really go into detail about the whole background of why did they do this to you. Now, this is one thing I am going to say. I am going to explain. He said that he was jumped by 16 dudes and they beat him up so bad to where he went into a coma. Now, he said this happened like a few years ago. So he said some dudes beat him up real bad. He was in a hospital. He was in a coma for like 2 months, and that's why like he kind of like his talking and stuff is delayed. And he told me he had to learn how to walk again. He had to learn how to talk again. When you're dealing with a person that's went through these traumatic events, sometimes they can have like, you know, flashbacks of, you know, a time where, you know, they were going through this trauma and they probably don't, you know, recognize like, you know, I'm here to love you. I'm here to care for you. I'm not here to hurt you. And then they can lash out on you. And then something really bad can happen. So that was bad on my part that I did not ask him about his past and about his childhood. Because I knew when I met him, I knew it was something always a little off about him. But I just couldn't put my finger on it. But I was just so hooked on, I'm in lust to the fact I was literally blinded to the red flags and the things that were right in my face. Another thing before this night, he did explain to me how he is bipolar and schizophrenic. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. He told me he was bipolar and schizophrenic. I didn't believe him because I'm like, okay, no, you're capped. Because I hadn't seen the signs really see the signs yet. So this is the information that he gave me in that night. He also said that he was scarred because his last relationship, his girlfriend cheated on him. He didn't really go into detail about his last situation or the situation with the 16 guys beating him really bad and sending him into a coma. Really go into detail about that or the girl, but he told me that his last situation, they broke up because she cheated on him. In that case, I believed him and I didn't ask any more about it. So after that day, before the first night when we had our first heated argument, I started to recognize signs of the bipolar thing that he was telling me about. He would have like mood swings. If we had like a disagreement, he would get like really mad really quickly. He had short patience. He didn't really have patience. And like if I wouldn't text him back right away or anything like that, he would literally double text my phone. He would text me like hella times and like not even give me an opportunity to text him back. Mind y'all, also want to include, this man did not have no car. Mind y'all, chocolate. We talking about chocolate. Chocolate. 31 years old. One kid, one technically biological kid that I never met, I never really seen the little girl come around. And then he has this other little boy that he claims is his child, but it's not his real biological son. He has no car, no job, no ambition. The few weeks that I was with him, I would ask him, like, you know, try to motivate him to, like, you know, want to do better and want better for his life, even though he was a lot older than me and I feel like he should have been teaching me things. Just me being his woman, I was trying to motivate him and push him to be a better man and do and want better for himself. but he literally was just focused on waking up, doing the same thing every day, and did not want that good for himself. So it's like, as your woman, how can I want good for you? How can I want something more than you want it, and you're older than me, and you're just basically waking up doing the same thing to the same thing? Y'all know what I'm saying? Him like being very controlling. I knew something was off about him and all these other things, but I'm still just like still trying to stick by him and everything like that. He told me like he had to go to like these anger management classes and stuff like that. I never really asked him like to go in depth about that either, which I should have, but I didn't. And yeah, this is my karma. Now we can fast forward to the first night. So it was just a regular simple night. Mind y'all, he had put Chocolate had put my friend on with his cousin. Boom. So his cousin was supposed to be meeting me and my friend at his house. So it was supposed to be kind of like a two-man type of thing. We put up playing sexy red. I'm dancing out the car like, hey, get it sexy, get it sexy. Okay. So boom, we go in the house. We chopping it up with him, you know, sipping on our little drinks and all that. And so we're waiting on basically his cousin to pull up so it could just basically be like a two-man. He there for her, I'm here for my man. So she ends up, I had her show me the video that she had recorded of me outside his house. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna post it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown woman. So he like peeked over at the video and he was like, this what you do? You know what I'm saying? You out here dancing like this. You out here dancing like now, mind y'all, he said this in front of my friend. I'm saying, and at this point, I'm getting a little buzz. So I'm laughing. I'm thinking everything is funny. I'm thinking he like, I'm like, you kidding me? You kidding me, right? Mind y'all, I'm going to make a note of this. He had my friend, this friend that I'm talking about. This is not the friend from the video on how I got cheated on and that whole finanza. This is a whole nother friend. So it's not the friend from that video. This is another friend. So mind y'all, Chocolate had this other friend's number because I specifically gave him my friend's number to give to his cousin, brother, whatever you want to call it, to give to his cousin so he could put them on, and which he did. But what I did not know was he saved my friend's number. So he basically looked at me and told me, he was like, you want to be a hoe in my house? I'm like, who? Me? As he wanted me to. He grabbed me up and dragged me out of his house. So at this point, y'all, like I said, I had a little buzz. So I was laughing, which was probably antagonizing him. But I was just like laughing at him because I could not believe that he had like got that mad or like that like on like defense mode. So I told him, I'm telling my friend, I'm like, okay, come on, let's go. So he ends up coming outside, y'all, and literally like nugs me in my face. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, you really about to put your hands on me? You told me to leave, so I'm gonna leave. Y'all, when I say this man went berserk, he went berserk. He just started disrespecting me and my friend, calling both of us all type of fat sluts. He was just calling us out our name and being just mad disrespectful. And I was just like, I have to go. Like, this was a side of him, y'all, I promise you, I had never seen before. Like, when I say he literally, like in a snap of a finger, he just snapped. He started walking up on my friend like he about to put his hands on my friend, like he's about to hit her and all of this. And I'm like, come on, friend, like, let's just go. I end up getting in my car, about to pull off. He ends up coming over to the side of my car. So he starts kicking my car. I had plastic on my window at the time because my switch in my window had went out. He punched a hole through my plastic. He's kicking my car. He came on my side of my window and started beating on my window and was like, you better roll this window down. I'm gonna break this window. And I ended up rolling that window down like halfway, and he told me, he was like, you're not leaving this house. You need to come inside. You need to talk to me. And at this point, I'm like, no, like, I'm scared to go in there and talk to you. You just nudged me in my face. You're walking up on my friend. You're being disrespectful. You know, you just basically just blacked out on both of us. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you got going on. So he was just like, all of a sudden, he's like, calm now. And he's like, you're not going nowhere. And I'm like, I turn, you know, I'm starting my car up, I'm about to walk, and then that's when he pulls his out at my car window. And so I see it. He pulls it out halfway, and he was like, if you pull off or your friend pull off, I'm gonna shoot your car up and I'm gonna shoot her car up. And at that point, oh my gosh, I'm getting chills when I talk about it. I was so scared. I wasn't just scared for me, but I was scared for my friend, because I had never been in a situation like that where somebody was literally holding me in one spot. What to do. He told me to get out the car and talk to him. So as he's talking, I'm saying things to try to, I'm saying any and everything just to calm him down. So I'm scrolling on my phone. I have my brightness all the way down so he can't see that I'm scrolling. My phone was like by my cup holder, and I was scrolling, and I ended up clicking my auntie's number, and my auntie, and I seen my auntie answer, because you know, like on the iPhone, you could see when the person answered, because you would see the little time going up. So I just let the phone just stay there and just let my auntie listen. And my auntie heard his voice, so she knew exactly where I was at. Now, mind you, out of everybody, my auntie is the only person that knew exactly where Chocolate stayed. So I'm like, and I know she was gonna be like super efficient. She was gonna pull right up. Literally, y'all, like not even, literally less than 10 minutes, my auntie ended up pulling up. She ended up pulling up, and she told him to go on about his business and let me and my friend go. And she basically, like, I was on the phone the whole time, I heard everything. He started being disrespectful to my auntie, talking about this ain't got shit to do with you and this and the other. But he walked away from that car and he went back in their house. We ended up leaving. That was the first night. Another thing, we ended up pulling down the street to the gas station. I'm pumping my gas, y'all. Literally, the gas station is like it's some blocks away. He literally, not even 5 minutes, this man is walking up to the gas station, walking up on me again, screaming, cussing, yelling at me. Like, I'm like, how did he get to this gas station that fast? Like, literally, y'all, like less than 5 minutes. I'm like, this man is crazy. How did he know I was here? How did he even have my location? How did he get to this gas station that fast? Like, I'm tweaking out. I'm like, what is going on? My friend was scared. She was shooken up and everything. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. So that was the first night. Prior to that, so a little bit before that, going on up to the first heated argument. Well, no, after the first heated argument, it basically, I was planning on to leave him alone, but it was bad on my part, because I'm like, this is still somebody that I share feelings with, and it's some type of like soul tie. And I'm like, I still got feelings for this man. Like, I can't just give up on our situation like that. I need some closure. I need to talk to him. I need to see basically like what's going on. Finally ended up linking back up with him again after that situation, and we ended up having a conversation. And basically after that night, I'm just gonna skip over all of that. After that night, it just started to be really, really toxic between me and him. It was just like a toxic situation between me and him. Every time we got into an argument, he would literally call me out my name. He would call me all type of he would call me fat. He would talk about my weight. He would joke about my weight all the time. And like, as a woman, it started to not, because don't get me wrong, I'm a very confident woman. I love myself. But when you hear from somebody that's supposed to be your partner or supposed to be your man and supposed to adore and love how you look, to just hear that every single time y'all have a disagreement, it was really starting to make me think, okay, a person is not going to say something more than once if they don't mean it. Like, he really does view me as a fat, really does view me as a fat, or I'm, you know, sloppy built and everything that he was saying. So in my head, I'm starting to believe like this is really how this man sees me. He doesn't love me. He doesn't take my feelings into consideration. In our relationship, he never bought me a flowers. And I do also want to also include even, okay, so after this situation, like I told y'all, it was a basically toxic situation / relationship. A month later, he ends up getting shot. So a month later, he ends up getting shot. And it was a day that we had an argument. So earlier that day, prior to him getting shot, we ended up having an argument about a situation that had nothing to do with, nothing like too deep. It was just the same that we was arguing about, the same we're going through. So I just like, I ended up hanging up on him. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. And I just slept the whole day away. Like, I was just so depressed. I was so drained. I just slept the whole day away. So while I was asleep, he was calling me, but I wasn't answering. My phone was on D&D. My cousins was calling me, everything. When I ended up waking up, I ended up getting the news from my cousin that he had been shot. And so at this point, I'm like, I'm tweaking out. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? I hope he's okay. I don't know what's going on or any of that. After that comes a night. This night is like some weeks after he got shot. He's healed up now. He's cool now and all that. I still ended up talking back to him, being around him after he got shot. So this night, I was texting and calling him. He was ignoring me, and I knew that he was with his friends. And so I'm thinking he with a female. So I ended up popping up at his house this night. And I had my friend that was in the video where I cheated on him, that friend in that video, she was with me this night. Up to his house, and I'm like, if you don't come outside, I'm gonna bust your windows out. Y'all know I bust the windows out your car. When I said that, he ends up walking over. Mind you, I told y'all he lived by some projects. He be over there chilling in the projects. He ended up walking across the street. So he ends up coming up to me, and he was like, what the you doing? Why are you at my house? And this and that. I'm like, why aren't you answering me? Mind y'all, it wasn't that I wanted to come and start any problems. I just wanted him to take my feelings into consideration that okay, it's bad enough that you just got shot. I'm on guard now. I want you to text me back right away. I want you to let me know that you're okay. In my head, like, I'm not gonna bust your windows out. I just wanted your attention, and I wanted you to respond to me, and I wanted you to come to me. So he was just basically like trying to bust my windows. What the is wrong with you? Now, mind y'all, I smell liquor on his breath, so I'm like, okay, he drunk. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just leave. So I end up turning around, and I'm walking away like I'm about to leave. So he ends up coming up to me, you guys, and he smacks me in my face. So when he smacks me, of course I hit him back, because it's like, you hit me. So at this point, y'all, we fighting. He ends up knocking me on the ground. He's stomping me. He's kicking me like all in my stomach. He's kicking me while I'm on the ground. And my friend was just sitting in a car. I guess she was scared or whatever. And I low-key can't blame her. She was scared. She was just sitting in a car, and I'm basically, you know, on the ground. He kicking me out. He's stomping me out. So I end up getting back up. And then he ends up like punching me in my face, and it hit my nose ring. I got my nose ring re-pierced, so you can't really see. I'm gonna put the picture up here on the screen of what he did to my face. Punched me in my nose, and it ripped my nose ring out, and like my nose was like bleeding everywhere and all of that. And during it, I was just like so shocked, because it was like the first time I had ever been in a situation like where a guy like actually is like real life hitting me, like actually trying to really hurt me. And he was actually really trying to hurt me. I ended up leaving. After that night, it was weeks and weeks that went by. He kept trying to reach out to me. He kept apologizing, just basically just trying to get back close to me. And it took me a long time to kind of like basically heal from that and like going through that, because I literally like I didn't know how to feel like about the whole entire situation. Y'all ready for this? One day I ended up giving in, and I went back. When I went back to him and we kind of like got back on cool terms, I just knew what to say and what not to say to him, and basically how not to trigger him. I ended up meeting this older guy, and this older guy became close, that so happenly knew Chocolate, because he started to put me up on game on Chocolate, and he knows Chocolate, and he stays over where Chocolate stays. At his house right over by where Chocolate stayed, and we ended up vibing, and we ended up talking and just basically like you know, just like chopping it up. And when I told him I was in a situation, it was like a toxic situation, and I told him who it was, and his first reaction was, you need to get out. You need to leave him alone. Like, seriously. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So basically he ends up opening up and telling me that Chocolate is a known woman beater, and that he has like a history record of domestic violence and just basically like doing bad things. He's like, oh, just, you know, you can just look his name up. He has a track record. He was like, he literally used to date my baby mama's sister's friend. And he was like, yeah, he's a known woman beater. He was like, I literally seen him with my own 2 eyes beat a woman. He sent her to the hospital, gave her a concussion. And he was like, you really need to get away. He was like, if you want your life and you want to be safe, you really need to get away from him. He's not cool in the head. He has a problem, and he's a known woman beater. He's known that to beat on every single woman that he, you know, has ever been with. I kept it in the back of my head, and it was heavy on my heart. The next morning when I woke up in my older guy's house, I get a text from my friend saying that Chocolate had reached out to her. So I'm just going to put some random, I'm going to just put all the receipts right up here on the screen. I'm going to put screenshots of him texting her. I'm not going to sit here and read y'all everything. Y'all just click the video, pause it, go down and literally read the messages between him and her. When y'all read it, y'all should know who was who. When she told me that he tried to talk to her, and when y'all see these receipts on the screen, when y'all see the screenshots on the screen, reading them still to this day triggers something inside of me, because he talked about me. I wasn't even actually physically cheating on him yet. It really hurt me, because I'm like, I've put up with so much, you know what I'm saying? I always been there for him. He's sick, I'm running to his rescue, I'm taking care of him. You put your hands on me, and I still forgave you, and I still try to see the good in you, and I still wanted that closure from you, and this is how you do me. You try to talk to my friend. So that next day after that, I ended up approaching him about it, and I ended up going off. And just the constant disrespect, it literally, you guys, took a huge toll on me. So to respond to that comment on that last video on, you know, cheating, it's no excuse to cheating, why didn't you just leave? I didn't leave because as a woman, and you have to go through it to understand it, part of you hates this person. You want to leave this person alone. You don't want to stay in this hurt. You don't want to stay in this toxicity. But that other part of you still loves this person that you used to know, this person that you met, this person that you fell in love with. So I was just like half and half. It's like part of me hates this person and I don't want to be in this, and the other part of me loves this person. And it's just like it took such a mental toll on me, literally the whole relationship as a whole. It took such a mental toll on me. I'm just like, I can't do this no more, and I need to get my lick back, because I really feel like he played in my face one too many times, number one. So in every argument that we would have, when we would literally argue about like the most simplest things, or when I'm literally just trying to express my feelings or anything like that, he would literally always gaslight me and literally make every single argument like make it seem like it's me and it's not him, and he's not doing anything wrong, or he never did anything wrong. I did approach him about the known woman beater thing, and he literally denied all allegations. I ended up having to go on the clerk of courts and literally look him up, and he literally has a track record so long, you guys. It literally gave me anxiety and it really scared me. And the biggest thing that I learned out of this situation is you really need to do your research, and you really need to know who you sleeping with and who are you sleeping next to. You never know, you can literally be sleeping next to the devil. I'm not ashamed that I went through this situation. I'm actually grateful that I went through this situation, because more than anything, I learned a very valuable lesson. And that's, first of all, to not rush things, and second of all, do your research. Do your research on these men, because you will be so surprised, or you can literally lose your life for just not, you know, having that respect enough for yourself to do that research for the safety of you and your future. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's some crazy people out here, some crazy men out here, and you don't want to end up in a situation like my situation or other situations with other women that ended in tragedies. Listen, that I'm sharing with y'all, that I hope that y'all can learn from my mistake. Everything. If you guys have any further questions regarding this situation, please feel free to comment down below. I tried to cover as much as I can, y'all. I knew this video is probably gonna be a little long. I tried to cover as much as I can regarding this situation, but this will basically be closing out that situation and that chapter. To give y'all an update, no, I am no longer talking to Chocolate. Me and Chocolate have completely cut off all communication, and we no longer have any communication, and I have not seen him or talked to Chocolate since the situation when he found out I cheated on him and he broke up with me. That's the last conversation that we had. And so that basically wraps up the video. That wraps up part 2, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you want more story times, please comment down below. I love every single one of y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on that bell so you get notified anytime I post. I love every single one of y'all. Keep riding with me. Stay tuned for the next upload. And until next time, you live, you learn. Don't never put that man first. Bye, y'all.
You know you that bitch when you cause all this conversation. Always stay gracious. Best revenge is your paper.